The author. Jane Austen was from England and she was alive during the late 1700s, early 1800s. She was the girl who wrote Sense and Sensibility. She also wrote about society in England and how people need money and stuff. The title of the book comes from the two main qualities of the main characters. Darcy has too much pride and Elizabeth has too much prejudice. For Darcy, as soon as they get rid of these feelings, they fall in love.
The book, Pride and Prejudice. The story is based on Jane Austen's novel about five sisters, Jane, Elizabeth, Mary, Kitty, and Lydia Bennet, in Jordan, England. Their lives are turned upside down when a wealthy young man, Mr. Bingley, and his best friend, Mr. Darcy, arrive in their neighborhood.
Summary. The story starts out with the Bennet family in their estate called Longbourn. This good-looking rich dude named Mr. Bingley moves into their neighborhood. Bingley has a crush on Jane Bennet. Bingley's friend Darcy doesn't like them together because he thinks Jane is white trash. So Darcy plans with Bingley's sisters to break them up. Meanwhile, Darcy has a crush on Jane's sister Elizabeth.
Elizabeth thinks Darcy is a rich loser. She hears lots of bad stuff about him and how he is a prick to people. She hears he's cheated George Whitman out of his inheritance. Then Whitman and Elizabeth fall in love because he is a good-looking guy.
Mr. Bennet has no son, so his property goes to his closest male relative. The closest relative is this guy named Mr. Collins. He's an arrogant priest. He ends up marrying Elizabeth's friend, Charlotte. She married him to get away from her crappy life.
Elizabeth sees Charlotte a lot. Darcy goes to visit his aunt a lot. They run into each other. Darcy asks Elizabeth to marry him, but she still says no, because he's a prick. She's mad that he screwed up with Jane and Bingley's love affair, and also she Wickham. Darcy admits to screwing with Jane and Bingley, but tells her that Wickham is a jerk. Elizabeth believes him. Then Elizabeth goes on a trip with her aunt and uncle. They go to Darcy's mansion. His housekeeper tells her what a sweetheart the guy is.
Then everyone finds out that Whitman ran away with Lydia Bennet, who is 16 years old. Elizabeth feels stupid for trusting Whitman and not Darcy. Darcy goes and finds the couple. He basically pays off Whitman to leave Lydia. Elizabeth finds out what good this Darcy did and starts to really like him. Bingley marries Jane and Elizabeth agrees to marry Darcy.
Main character, Elizabeth Bennet. She's the main girl in the story. She's about 21. She's smart and full of personality. In the beginning, she hates Darcy, but then starts to love him. Fitzwilliam Darcy. He's the main guy in the story. He's rich and handsome. He is really cocky and thinks he's the one. He starts to become uncocky and he falls in love with Elizabeth. He realizes that to win her heart, he has to be a nice guy.
Jane Bennet. She's the hottest of the sisters. She hides her emotions a lot. Charles Bingley. He's a rich, handsome dude. He falls in love with Jane. His self-esteem is a little low. George Wickham. He's a handsome dude. In the beginning, Wickham tells Elizabeth a lie about how Darcy cheated him out of money. She believes him, and he seems like a nice guy. Then we find out he's a scumbag who likes young girls.
Personal opinion. At the beginning of the story, we can see how the pride and prejudice are over the law. A big theme in this book is how women at that time desperately wanted to marry a rich guy. It still happens now, but in those years it was a little more open and encouraged. This society was all prim and proper. The gentleman obeyed social rules. And finally, there are many different types of marriage portrayed in this book. The Bennets have an unhappy marriage, Charlotte and Red Collins have a charmed marriage, and Darcy and Elizabeth have a great marriage.
Film versions. Pride and Prejudice has engendered numerous adaptations. Some of the notable film versions include that of 1940, starring Brie Larson and Laurence Olivier, and that of 2005, starring Keira Knightley and Matthew McFadden.
Okay, that was all. We were Melissa, Vanessa, and Laura.